Welcome. Continuing with our next set of questions for UPSC. This set of questions talked about India's long-term low-emission development strategy. Now, note this time the UPSC paper had questions which were very exhaustive, long in nature, and if you don't have a good reading speed, you would definitely leave a number of questions. So that is something that is very required for this UPSC. Now, this question: the long-term low-emission development strategy is crucial to achieve the net zero emissions 2070. That's correct. Now this talks about a climate resilient development. Now climate resilient development, since we are talking about resilient, it is adaptive, long term in nature, so short term achievements is not possible. So the third is in itself an incorrect explanation. Now it contradicts what is actually the long term strategy. So when we are talking about long term, we cannot have short term achievements being focused. And India's fourth biannual update report submitted in 2024 records around 8% decrease in greenhouse gas emissions in 2020 over 2019. So in 1 year there has been a drop. This fall has been linked to certain circumstances. However, it has been supported by the documentations which have been to combat this, right? So 1 and 2 are the correct explanations for this question. Now coming on to next. Now often we see one of the questions on species, and here it was on Western Hollock gibbons species. Now this is a question which says which of the species statements are correct. Now Western Hollow gibbon is one of the very well-known species which is found particularly in Northeast India. It is under the endangered conservation of IUCN and it is under the protected forest habitat. So it has been known for its specialized branchiation and its easy ability to swing between the trees because they have long arms, flexible shoulder joints, they have good grasping capacity, they can switch from one stem branch to another, and this gives them a classic mode of movement, and therefore this species is unique in itself. So we have second statement which is again correct. Now gibbons are usually short bodies, they are not as heavy bodied as gorilla. So stating that they are as heavy bodied as gorilla is in itself correct. So 1 and 2 would be the correct answer for this question. The next is regarding protection of mangrove forest. Which of the following is correct? Now mangroves are known for climate resilience because they act as a bioshield, a natural bioshield we could say. So what happens, they have a system of deep and dense roots that actually reduce the force of the tidal surge and therefore the inflow of the water. So mangroves function as a bioshield and a livelihood base for a forest community. That is correct. Now mangroves should not be merely meant to protect the saline water, so for the paddy cultivation. So this makes the first choice incorrect. These conversions actually destroy the original ecological root cause that the mangroves hold for themselves, and moreover it would increase the vulnerability due to storm if that is the true case, right? The second is it has salt sensitive roots. Now mangroves are salt tolerant, they are salt excreting, not salt sensitive, right? So again this is correct. This is incorrect, right? So you have 1 and 2 as the incorrect option, only 3, 1 as the correct option. Question on mangrove was very expected. We have already discussed this in our expected series. The next was Vinzenzam International Seaport. Now this has been recently in news and therefore very important. Now which of the following does represent a structural shift in marine trade in India with regard to the seaport? So this is significant because it focuses on deep water transshipment, and since it focuses on deep water transshipment, it is located very close to the international lanes for transportation, and its natural deep structure we would say would actually reduce our dependence on foreign transshipment ports and therefore would enhance India's revenue and India's position in maritime trade. So third is a correct option. Now this actually talks about a structural shift. Why? Because we are reducing our dependence on foreign transshipment because we would have it indigenously. So far we have dependence on Colombo, Singapore, Dubai, but this Vinzenzam International Seaport would actually reduce it significantly. Now, one statement is incorrect because it does not exclusively focus on domestic needs, and the second is incorrect because it is not focusing on cruise tourism or heritage shipment as its primary objective. So 3 only is the correct option. The next question is, which of the following river meets these criteria? This is an interesting question from the very fundamentals of NCERT of geography. So Satluj is an antecedent river system. It flows through 3 countries. So it originates in Tibet, flows through the Himalaya, and finally Himachal Pradesh, and finally into Pakistan. Right, so that's again correct. Now it originates in Tibetan plateau, as we already said, so it is important for irrigation, and it does not form distributaries. That is again important because Brahmaputra is a classic example for this, which has its distributary system. So here the correct answer would be Satluj only. The next question is, which of the following statements with reference to the India's state are correct? Now Uttar Pradesh is the question says which is not correct, sorry, right? So Uttar Pradesh shares boundary with highest number of Indian states. That's correct. Being the states with one of the largest areas, it has definite share with numerous states, as you can see, Bihar, then you have Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Haryana, then you have Uttarakhand, parts of the neighboring nations that are again there, but we are still focusing on only the Indian states. So Rajasthan, Haryana, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Bihar are some of the states that actually, and then Jharkhand of course, that actually touch this. So 1 is correct. Now the question says not correct, so we have to be very careful. Now Rajasthan shares the longest international border among the all states. The Rajasthan shares the longest international border with Pakistan, and it is substantially long international border. However, India's longest border is a bit indented border that we see around West Bengal. So this statement is incorrect. The third is Sikkim is a state that shares its boundary with just one other state, is the only state sharing its boundary with one other state. That is incorrect because it is not this only state. You have Meghalaya as another state which shares its boundary with only one state, right? So 3 again is incorrect. So which of these are incorrect? 2 and 3 are incorrect. Now, another important question is regarding the arrival of Amur falcons at Dayong Lake in Nagaland each year from Mongolia. Which of the following is correct? Now, it showcases how local conservation efforts can contribute to the arrival and the protection of international migratory birds, because this is because of the awareness campaigns, the community participation that has transformed the hunting of these birds into actually a protection spot. However, the second statement is not correct because satellite tags and tracking technologies help scientists to monitor the movement and the migration routes. And again, when we are talking about Amur falcon as migratory raptors, they pass through India seasonally, so it's not a permanent residency. So again, this is incorrect. So 1 only would be the correct answer for this question. The next is, which of the following is an objective of the Rain-Fed Development Program initiative under the National Mission for Sustainable Agriculture? Now, under the National Mission for Sustainable Agriculture, the main idea is enhance the productivity and minimize the climate risk through integrated farming. So that is the only and only correct option. The Rain-Fed Area Development approach, which is under the National Mission for Sustainable Agriculture, actually focuses on improving the agricultural productivity. It talks about reducing the vulnerability, reducing the climate risk associated to it. So it focuses on an integrated approach with crop, livestock, horticulture all together. Now, this is the only correct explanation because it focuses on the integrated farming system. So 3 is correct. Now, RADs do not actually encourage monoculture. So 1 is incorrect. It does not increase the rice cultivation as its primary goal. It's not about expanding the cultivation. It's about a sustainable system for agriculture. It's not about increasing the rice cultivation. So 3 only is the correct option. The next is another interesting question. Which of the following is most significant implication of obtaining OAKS certification for ARI silk in the global textile industry? Now, OAKS certification is a certification which actually allows the exporters from India to compete in a high-end market, which actually focuses on chemical free products, and it confirms that the ARI silk from India meets the international safety guidelines, enabling its entry into a premium eco-conscious market. So both of these statements are correct. A very important concept under the concept of green textiles, we could say, and therefore both of these statements would be the correct explanation to this question. And this certification is important because it signals that the product has been tested for any harmful substances that has been used in the processing of textile manufacture. So it talks about the safety and the confirmations related to safety. Now, ships of which of the following countries have crossed the Strait of Hormuz to reach the Indian Ocean? Now, the correct answer here is Bahrain and Qatar. Now, this was a very important question. We had discussed a specific class on the geopolitics of Middle East, which had been very important. So this question again becomes very important in line of that simple fact. Now, Strait of Hormuz, as we know, connects the Persian Gulf with the Gulf of Oman and then finally to the Arabian Sea. So it's finally opens up into the Indian Ocean, and the countries which are located inside the Persian Gulf are those which have easy transit to it. So both Bahrain and Qatar are the nations which are located in the Persian Gulf, and since therefore they have a easy route. Now, Syria is located in the eastern Mediterranean region, and Egypt has access to the Mediterranean and Red Sea for the passage. The next is the Tungurahua volcano was declared as a global geopark by UNESCO in 2025, is situated in which of the following countries? Now, Tungurahua is one of the important volcanic feature which has been seen in Ecuador, and this was part of the global geopark which was identified in 2025, citing the ecological and the cultural significance of that region. Now, this has been associated with the geography of Ecuador because it was an active stratovolcano that was seen. We had seen volcanic eruptions in the Andes mountain range, and it led to creation of valleys, rivers, volcanic landforms, which had ultimately had a very great impact on the cultural and the ecological significance of Ecuador. So a very important question from global geographical perspective. The next is Madhav National Park. Very important question. It was declared as a Tiger Reserve Site 2025. This was very obvious current affairs question. And the Sakya Sagar was designed as the Ramsar site, which is situated in this national park. Now, this is within the Madhav National Park, and it is a very important wetland which has been identified, which is actually home to numerous crocodiles and birds which could be seen in this area. Now, it's important that Madhav National Park is solely located in the Shivpuri in Gwalior in Madhya Pradesh. It has nothing to do with the Rajasthan. So it's part of the Gwalior division, and therefore 1 and 2 are the only correct options for this question. The next is with reference to the climate of Andaman and Nicobar, which of the following statements are true? So it is a climate which is defined as a hot tropical coastal climate. That's perfectly correct. Because of its location, we can say that it is surrounded by Bay of Bengal and the warm ocean waters, so it has a humid tropical climate which is seen. And then it receives rainfall from both southwest and northeast monsoon. That is again correct, because you have the island receiving the going winds as well as the coming winds. So you have the monsoon winds or the retreating winds, which are both affecting the region. And the last one is the highest rainfall for this period is usually associated from May to September, not December and May. So this is incorrect. So 1 and 2 are the only correct options. Now, again, this was a very fundamental question from Geography of India. Students of geography definitely had an edge in this, because the questions this time were relatively more direct and based on the very fundamental and contemporary happenings. Now, the next question is, which of the geographical phenomena is associated with the peninsular block of India? Now, submergence of the past of the parts of western coast due to tectonic activity. That is correct, because the Indian landmass had experienced the tectonic movement, faulting and wrapping on during the geological period. We say 1 is the correct option. The next is the residual hills, which are the Velikonda and the Mahendragiri Nilgiri which are seen, which are again an indicative that it had its history associated with the peninsular block. So these are the kind of relict mountain structures which are seen, part of a longer cycle of erosion, we could say, and therefore they have their presence in the peninsular block. So again 2 is correct. 3 is incorrect because the deep V-shaped valleys are usually seen in the areas of active river flow, and they are usually seen in young topographical features, and peninsular block is not a young topographical feature. So 1 and 2 are the correct options. You have B as the only correct option for this question. The next question was an interesting question on Sagarmala project. Now Sagarmala project seeks to achieve port-led development. That is one of the statements that it says. Now it's important. Now this question talks about the 3 statements, but more importantly, it says that it says that statement 2 validates the effectiveness of the strategies in statement 1. Statement 3 extends the objective of statement 1, and statement 1 contradicts the statement 2. So we have to analyze all the 3 statements carefully to answer this question, right? So Sagarmala project captures the original logic of the program, which talks about a port-led economic growth, obviously with better logistics, better efficiency, and kind of industrial clusters which could be identified. So a part of broad, we could say, maritime infrastructure that could be developed. The next is the statement 2, whether it supports the statement 1 or not. So the success of Sagarmala is reflected with the significant growth in the coastal and water shipment along with improved port ranking. So that's very, very true, because if the coastal shipping, the inland water movements, and the global port rankings are improving, we are automatically saying that our effectiveness for port-led development and logistics would improve. So 2 definitely supports 1. So this first statement is automatically correct. Now the third statement, Sagarmala 2.0 aims to position India as a global maritime innovative hub aligned with Atmanirbhar Bharat and Viksit Bharat. So yes, that's true. It extends the objective of statement 1 by actually focusing on the future oriented vision. So again 2 is correct here. So both 1 and 2 statements are correct, and 3 says that statement 1 contradicts 3, that is incorrect. It's not contradicting. 3 is simply trying to extend the policy framework which has been already given under the objectives of statement 1. So 1 and 2 would be the correct option. This was a very, very tricky question, less tricky, more lengthy, we could say, and therefore was important. Now this talks about which of the following species talks about the foxtail. Now the scientific name is already here. So Retusa, R. retusa is the scientific name, and it is called as foxtail orchid. Now this foxtail orchid is a very, very important species. It is an epiphyte that grows on other plants, especially the trees, the trunks, and the branches of other trees, and do not draw its nutrition like the other parasites, and therefore this foxtail orchid is unique. It usually simply uses them as a host to actually get a support and help in the growth process. So the first statement is it's very, very true. It's an orchid plant. It is an epiphyte in nature. The 3 statement says that this is recognized as the state flower of Andhra Pradesh and Arunachal Pradesh. That is again correct. So 1 is correct, 3 is correct, but 2 is incorrect because it is not only endemic to Northeast India, it is found in the other parts of Northeast India, in the parts of Southeast Asia, and therefore saying that it is only endemic to Northeast India is incorrect. So only statement 1 and 3 would be the correct option here. The next question is the statements regarding Moidam. Now Moidams, which have been the structures which are built by the Ahom kingdoms, have been very, very important because they are part of the Tahi Ahom kingdom and have been also inscribed in the World Heritage Systems of UNESCO. Now under this they talk about the burial chambers, the eastern the burial chambers and the molds which are linked to the royalty of the Ahom kingdom. So talking about that they actually focus on the burial grounds of the royals and the nobles. It's perfectly correct. However, the other options are not that correct. They were not an army fortress, they were not a recreation center, they were not the battle drill centers as well. So 3 would be the only correct option. So we have the correct answer here. The next question is UN Ocean Conference, which was held in June 25 with the FAO, actually talks about the marine and the ocean issues on the sustainable fisheries and aquaculture for resilience of blue transformation and livelihood. Now, which of the factors actually talk about the 4 betters which have been proposed under the blue transformation? Now, FAO's strategic guidelines summarize the 4 betters as better production, better nutrition, better environment, and better life. So this was the basic idea. So very straightforward question. Now note, as we have seen, the current affairs questions were mainly pertaining to the months of June, July last year. So you have to have a good knowledge of at least 1 year back to attempt the questions very nicely. The next question is, which of the following statement refers to Lake Turkana is correct? Now, it is one of the largest desert lakes in the world. It is a permanent desert lake, we could say. It is seen in the regions of North Kenya. Turkana is a very important center because it extends northward even till the regions of Ethiopia. So has a very important strategic aspect as well, and it is listed with the UNESCO World Heritage Site, offering often referred to as the Jade Sea because of the color of the Turkana lake that is seen. So it reflects the ecology of the region, and the evolutionary studies have also been very important part in the regions around the Turkana lake. We have seen numerous archaeological discoveries on which we had taken a separate class in our recent lectures on expected questions. So Turkana lake, not directly being asked, has been asked as a lake. We had discussed the archaeological sections that have been found in the regions of Turkana recently. Now the lake, as we said, is not situated in the regions of southern Sudan. It is located in the North Kenya area. So second is correct. We have 1 and 3 as the correct option. The last question from this talked about the first plan Vivo certified reducing emissions from deforestation and forest degradation, which was the REDD plus program in India. Now this was which one was the first and the foremost important was the Khaki Hills Community REDD plus program, and this was very important because it was the Khasi Hills project. So Khasi, Garo Khasi, Jaintia, all 3 we have the community from Meghalaya, the hills from Meghalaya as well. Now this was the part of India's first plan Vivo certified RDDE project, which talked about reducing the deforestation, talking about supporting the local livelihood and forest conservation. So as we have seen numerous questions in this section, we had specifically from environment and geography. The questions were not that difficult, but they were lengthy. Even the statement questions had further a statement saying that whether they contradict, they extend, or they support the validation for the existing statement. So this was your second set of questions that we have discussed. We'll be continuing with our remaining 3 sets. Stay tuned. Thanks for joining.